Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Bengal Magazine, and we're going to be a little diverse on this show. We're going to open up with men's hockey coming off an outstanding season, and Nick Carriere is going to join us, the head coach. He's bringing along Kyle Whipple from the town of Tonawanda, a sophomore, and then Sue Roarke joins us. Going to talk about an outstanding women's basketball season, and Sue is bringing along Divine Sebuharara, her senior from Vestal. And then Jerry Boyce, the boss, is going to talk about continuing progress toward the renovation of Houston Gym. So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're talking men's hockey. Stay with us. All right, we're going to talk a little men's hockey right now, and joining us, Nick Carriere and Kyle Whipple from the town of Tonawanda. Notice, town of Tonawanda, that's where I'm from, obviously. Nick, outstanding season, 13 wins, the most wins in school history, I believe, for the hockey program. I'm always curious, as you look back on a season, you go through 25, 27, 30 games, was there a point where you kind of said, you looked out, you said, I may have something special here. This might be a team that could do some damage?
I think that was probably after last season.
Great.
We knew that we had a good nucleus. We knew we had to build around it and try to bring in some of the right pieces. And coming into the season this year, we liked kind of how some of the things were fitting together. I think we have a huge potential, and that's one of those words that's used quite a bit in coaching. But we had an inconsistent year. We were up and down, and that was probably some of the most frustrating things that we saw as coaches and as players as well. So there wasn't really a point where you said, "Hey, we're really going on a run here."
Right.
We just kept above water, sort of thing, throughout the whole season. And then when it came down to being tied with Fredonia and having to win that one for third place, and then moving forward there, I think we finally shook off the inconsistency and started having some more consistent efforts and being rewarded.
Did you sense at the end of the year the team on an upswing, though? I mean, the results would indicate that, especially in the playoffs, and even though the loss to Plattsburgh, but it seemed like you were progressing at the right time. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I think sometimes it takes a team some time to figure out the issues they have, whether it's tough times with adversity or leadership and how they're handling things. And I think we had a tough trip up to the North Country with Potsdam and Plattsburgh and losing 2 in a row there. And we came together after that trip and had some pretty good talks with coaches and captains and our leadership. And I think that might have put some stuff out on the table a little bit more and maybe just kind of let everything be a little bit more transparent. So we all knew where we were trying to go with this thing, and we could put all that behind us and move forward.
You agree with that assessment, Kyle? Even though the coach is right here, you're probably going to agree. But from a student-athlete perspective, did you see that road trip as maybe a turning point where things did get out on the table and we started looking forward a little bit more?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like after that weekend, we came back with a whole new outlook, how much harder we had to work.
Right.
Because it was just an inconsistent effort up there.
Okay.
And I feel like once we came back, we got key people back in the lineup that we've been missing, which I feel hurt us a little bit throughout the season. And once we got everyone back and going, we were firing on full cylinders.
Now, you're a kid from the town of Tonawanda, and I'm proud of that, and although you went to Kenmore West, but we'll keep that a secret. And then you didn't come from Kenmore West, as most hockey players don't, from high school right to college. You went somewhere else, and then this guy found you, and here you are at Buffalo State. What was the process like for you?
Just during Binghamton, I would send out emails to coaches.
So you were playing junior hockey at Binghamton?
Binghamton.
Okay.
And I visited here. I emailed the coach. He came out to watch me play, and then one day he called me and asked if I wanted to play here, and I would because it's so close to home.
Sure.
I didn't really want to move away, so it was a perfect fit.
Is it usually that easy? A kid emails the coach comes out and sees him and says, no, it's not, is it?
No, not really. We had a class, there's a pretty big class that we had to bring in there.
Right.
That's when we were pretty low with our returning guys. I think we only returned 11 players after the NCAA year. We'll refer to it as that now.
Okay.
But you know, Kyle was a guy, we knew he was a local guy. I know his former coach when he was playing with the Regals, I believe, Mike Mondu, who now coaches the U18 team with the Junior Sabres. So we were familiar with Kyle and really just had a chance. I'd seen him play once before and just wanted to go see him play again. And usually that's the case. You know, you see a guy play a few times and you get a feel for where he's at. When you know the coaches and you know the level, and he was, you know, I think he was their top getting point guy, and you know, one of their 20-year-old guys, one of their older guys that dominated at that level. And those are the types of guys we want. So I remember just talking with Kyle after the game pretty briefly and getting him on a visit.
There you go.
You know, the rest is
history.
Yeah.
I want to move quickly to the Plattsburgh game, the triple overtime game that you don't see very often. Certainly you don't play in it very often, and you might not even coach in it very often. But what a game. That was the semifinal game, the first ever semifinal appearance by the Bengals, and a 4-3 loss. But I'm curious, from a hockey player's perspective, Kyle, what is going through your mind after the first overtime and then after the second overtime? Are you like, wow, this is amazing, or are you running on adrenaline? Are you tired? How do the legs feel? What's the whole mindset like?
The second you step off the ice, everyone was just trying to get as much food in, like bananas and water, and regroup. But the second you'd step on the ice, it was just pretty much pure adrenaline, just short shifts because everyone was pretty much giving everything we had.
I mean, normal shifts could be, what, 40 seconds, 35, 40? Are we talking like 20, 25-second shifts?
The shift length definitely shortened. There's one instance where, actually, I remember Whip was coming off the bench. I don't know if it was overtime or not. He actually just flew right off the bench because it was kind of a close line change.
Right.
There might have been a too many men sort of thing, and he actually dove into the bench and just went flying into the back wall.
Unbelievable.
He had guys coming to the bench so hard, and that's something that I laughed about a little bit talking with the guys, because sometimes we don't get that throughout the regular season, and we want that consistency. And you know, you want to say, hey, I want you coming that hard in the regular season, just like you did in triple overtime. But it was amazing. You know, the shifts were short, and the chances were back and forth, and it was
I'm sure you had a full house up in Plattsburgh like they
sold out.
So. What strategy-wise, Coach? What do you change from overtime to overtime? I mean, obviously the shifts are a little bit smaller. Are you trying to do anything else, or is it still basically the same game plan?
I think we try to do what we do and just try to do it better. You know, we look at you know, after every period we might look at scoring chances. We might look at different things that have gone on, and we'll try to just adapt our guys, you know, and make them aware of maybe some of the instances where the other team did get some good looks, and make sure that we're trying to limit those. But other than that, it's, you know, it's the guys out on the ice that are going to make the difference. And you know, for us to come back and tie it up within, I think it was a minute 20, minute 30 in the third to push it to OT was huge. And Kyle scored a big goal, the second goal, just to make it close enough. So. You know, we gave ourselves a chance against, you know, I think the number 4 team in the country at the time, and we had plenty of those chances. But in the end, you know how it goes. You got to bury that chance, and that was that.
Well, I want to run a little over on this segment, get about 30 seconds, because I look at the roster and I see only 2 seniors. It's kind of a bit of a retooling, not reloading or whatever. Where do we go forward on this program? What happens now?
Well, recruiting's big, and you know, we had a brief team meeting yesterday, just talking about we're going to do some off-ice testing and some on-ice testing this week, just during the last week of our 19 weeks, and really beyond that, guys will have some time off for spring break, and once they come back, it'll be up to them to get their bodies back where they need to be and make some gains over the summertime to help our team. You know, that's on their end. On our end as coaches, we got to recruit, and we got to fill in the holes.
Well, Nick and Kyle, congratulations on an outstanding season. 13, 12, and 2, again, the most wins in hockey history here at Buffalo State. Congratulations. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to change. We're going to go to the hardwood and women's basketball. Sue Roarke, stay with us. Talking now to Sue Roarke and Divine Sebuharara from women's basketball. Welcome, ladies. Lots of great things to talk about. I know you're still disappointed, but wow, what a season. 25-3, the most wins in school history, at least ties. this young lady gets Coach of the Year, and it was an absolutely wonderful run to watch, because I think when I watched the games, I knew early on that there was something good about this team, that I could see some chemistry, but more importantly, I saw great talent and depth of talent too. Was there a time, Sue, where you kind of said as coach, or you and Max said as a staff, we've got something good here? Was there a moment in the season, a game or something, where you thought we could do some damage here?
I honestly think it was when we had our exhibition game against UB.
Wow.
Right out of the gate. We were so close to upsetting them. Yeah. And, to be able to perform like that against a Division I program that's clearly, bigger, stronger, faster than we were. I can remember sitting down and talking with their staff, like, this could be really special.
Wow. You as a student athlete, was there a time, maybe that was the game, where you said, as a senior too, you've seen it all, you've been here 4 years, where you said, whoa, boy, this is a really good team here?
I mean, that definitely is a huge one, and I wasn't even thinking of that one. Actually, there's just been so many moments this year that I really felt that we are a really special team, and we really have a lot of potential. For me, I think it was our second game in Florida where we went to overtime. Oh. And we had a lot of people stepped up, and I really just thought we have so much depth on this team that even if someone has slightly off a day, someone else is there to step up and really bring this team together, I guess, and pull out a win. I mean, we had players. Barb didn't score at all in the first half, came out 10 points the second half. Right. We had Alicia step up and have 10 rebounds, and then we had Bianca Smiley, who had 28 and 14. I mean, it was just really exciting to see that when these were teams that were really difficult. Coach was saying that they play in a really tough conference, and we were able to, come together and use everyone on the team to really pull out a win.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because just walking the hallways, I remember talking to Barb about that, and she thought that was a pivotal game too, that particular game when you came back. When you play somebody like UB, I'm just curious, is it like, well, maybe we shouldn't play a Division I, even though it's exhibition, or do you go in and let's see what we got here?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's really, we can't lose in that situation.
Correct.
If we don't do well, we weren't expected to do well.
Correct.
So it's really just a win-win no matter what happens, and the fact that we came out and, nearly beat them, I think gave our team so much confidence going into the season.
Right. You have been here, as I said, 4 years. You're coming off an incredible season, just a great career. What do you take out of your 4 years at Buffalo State? Have there been moments where you just will always remember a game or a moment in your career that you'll take away from this?
I think, honestly, the biggest thing that I'm going to remember is my transition from my freshman year to my senior year and how much the program has grown.
Wow.
I mean, my freshman year, we didn't even make it to playoffs, and for us to make it to the championship game is a huge accomplishment within itself. For Coach, she's done a great job. She has earned the title of SUNY Coach of the Year, and that's really the biggest thing that I think I'm going to remember.
You can give her that $20. And certainly you're absolutely correct. I jest, but a great honor. Let's get to these playoff games here first. Fredonia got through Fredonia in the first round. They get to the semis in Cortland, and as I said to you before we went on the air, man, I'm sitting there going, you cannot play a better game of basketball. I mean, do you agree?
Absolutely. I've been coaching now in college for 15 years, and I can honestly say that was the best basketball game I've ever seen.
How about
and
that?
Even the Cortland coach said that. She said that was truly amazing what your kids did tonight.
Were you amazed? Like you guys, it seemed like everybody was in the zone.
Yeah.
I mean, was it something special to you two on the court?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a weird feeling. Like, honestly, I said after the game, it felt as if we were one person on the court. Just everyone was so in sync, just knew what everyone was going to do next, had everyone's back on defense. It was just amazing, and we are still in shock about that game. Well,
it was a 45-point win. You shot like 46%. You out-rebounded them by 20, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we can go on and on. It's just a classic game. And then the Oneonta game. It probably could be said that you played your best game one game too early. Yes, no?
Yeah, I think so. It was definitely by far our best game of the year on Friday. And, but Oneonta's a good team too, so you got to give them credit for their performance. And, we didn't shoot the ball well, we didn't rebound well, so it was tough to pull it out.
Was it frustrating for you being on the court and it just wasn't, especially after coming off the game before, you're kind of just trying to get something going and it just was not going to be there?
It was a bit frustrating. I mean, I think it was just not our day, honestly. I was waiting for that run to just pull us ahead and, come out with the win, but it just wasn't our day. And the night before, it was just something so amazing. It was hard to amount to that.
And I think you're right, too. I think you have to give Oneonta some credit. They are an outstanding basketball team. You battled that team all the way throughout the season. This wasn't like you were playing the 8th seed, so congratulations to them for having a great season, too. And then we get into the NCAA tournament selection. You win the Oneonta game, you're automatically in. You don't, oh boy, you got to hold your breath. What's the process like there?
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of expectations going in and a lot of hope. That we would be selected given, a 25-3 season.
Right.
It's tough to do much better than that in a year, so you kind of have some expectations of, we'll still get in. And there's a lot of criteria that they look at to make the selection. So, I mean, huge disappointment to the team that we weren't selected.
Let's talk about that criteria for the viewers who don't know, because I didn't know until last week. 64 teams, as you said, 20 or 21 are at large. What the criteria for those teams for a Buffalo State to get into the field?
Yeah, I think what people don't realize is that it's only 64 teams, which is the same as Division I.
Right.
But we have over 400 institutions where there's only 100 and something in Division I. So the chances of getting in are it's small.
Right.
They look at your in-region performance, your win-loss record with that, your strength of schedule, your opponent's strength of schedule.
Yes.
So there's definitely some factors that are beyond our control too when you look at what the criteria is.
And we'd be less than honest. You felt our chances were real slim getting that at large because you knew the criteria where we were.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be tough, but at the same time, as far as records, we definitely had one of the best records in the country. So you hope that that's weighted the most heavily.
Absolutely.
But it looks like
apparently not quite.
Yeah, our region, we just didn't get a lot of at-large bids.
Right.
So.
How disappointing was it for you?
It was a lot more disappointing than I was expecting, I'll be honest. I mean, sitting there and just watching every team go up and seeing some teams I was familiar with, especially seeing Oneonta up there.
That's right.
I really felt that we deserved a spot. But like Coach said, I mean, they're just things beyond our control.
Right, so. Absolutely. Well, ladies, thanks for coming back on the show. I really appreciate it. Great career, Divine. Thank you for being a Buffalo State student athlete. We appreciate it, and best of luck down the road. I do want to remind you of the Bengal Club Golf Tournament being played Monday, July 9th at the Briarwood Country Club. It benefits the 400 student athletes here at Buffalo State. And if you're interested in playing or you want to sponsor the tournament, call me directly at 878-6514, 878-6514, or go to our website at buffalostateathletics.com. You'll see the banner right across the page and click it on and start filling it out and sending it to me. So that's the July 9th Bengal Club Golf Tournament benefiting the student athletes here at Buffalo State. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, Jerry Boyes joins us, and we're going to talk about the Houston Gym renovation. Well, congratulations to Sasha Henry, our junior sprinter. She is the Tim Hortons Buffalo State Player or Competitor of the Week. And Sasha had an outstanding meet in the SUNY Championships. She won 2 titles, including the 60-meter dash, at 7.65. That was the second fastest time in the nation in Division III. So an outstanding run there. And she also won the 200-meter dash in 25.73, and because of that, we can take it one step further. Sasha was the SUNY Indoor Track and Field Athlete of the Year, basically based off her performance at the SUNY. So once again, congratulations to the Tim Hortons Competitor of the Week, and that's Sasha Henry, a junior sprinter on our indoor track and field team. And we are now joined by Jerry Boyes, the athletic director at Buffalo State, and my boss, and also the football coach. So we'll talk a little administration and a little football as well. But Jerry basically brought you on again, and it is getting exciting. I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with being on the field or being on the basketball court or on the ice rink. I mean, people are pumped up about this Houston Gym renovation, and I'm telling you, I cannot believe that in 4 months we're out of Houston Gym and they're going to start working.
Yeah, Tom, very exciting time, and it's has taken on obviously a life of itself and moving along. pretty much on schedule. So I'm anxious for us to go through this move and get settled as quickly as we can over the summertime, over in our new digs, you might say.
Absolutely.
And to start finding out if we've met all the challenges that we can foresee, but get ready for those things as they come to us. But to go through this change that will last approximately 2 years before we move back into Houston Gym.
Right. I'm curious, boss, what are you most excited about? I mean, you wear two hats in the department, obviously. You're the boss and you're also the football coach. Is it doubly exciting for you, or is there one area where you're kind of like, man, this is really going to be great?
Well, it's for me, it's all for the students and the student athletes at Buffalo State College, because that's what Houston Gym serves, the entire population of our students. From a recreational and intramural standpoint, and our fitness center is part of that.
Correct.
And a new home, locker rooms, offices, things of that nature for our student athletes and staff. And to put Houston Gym into today's needs, you might say.
Right.
The building's a great building, but it's 52 years old and really does not meet our needs right now. So for this to happen, the beneficiaries is Buffalo State College, the students, faculty, staff, and even more so the student athletes.
There's so many great things about this renovation, but you had touched on one, and that's the fitness center, which really benefits all students at Buffalo State. Talk a little bit about what's happening in the fitness center. Is it going to be increased in size, where it's going, et cetera?
Probably the most exciting part of the whole project, because it moves up to a higher real estate level.
That's right.
Coming upstairs, where it will have windows to overlook the campus, and it also will increase over 2,000 square feet.
Wow!
So it's just a tremendous benefit. We're an initiative. I think we're 7 years into our current fitness center, but catching up, because that's what we're really doing with so many campuses across the nation that kind of understood of how important a fitness center is on campus. And now the size really, I think, comes closer to meeting our student needs, because the usage is over the top.
Yeah, I mean, you go in there at 7 o'clock at night and kind of have to blow out some walls to fit everybody. Let's get a little bit more specific, though, when it comes to intercollegiate athletics. Team locker rooms. All teams will have their own locker room for 365 days out of the year, which is very unusual, I may add, especially the Division III model. Even some Division I programs, teams do not have their own lockers. What are the new team, what will they see when they go into their locker room?
Well, I use kind of a word there, Tom, a little bit of a home away from home. And we hope we have that. It's going to be a bit of a classroom and locker room in one.
Right.
The coaches there will be what we call smart classroom. So the technology will be in there to show practice films and game films to team. We hope through our process to have large screen TVs in there too, so that they can go in and actually relax a little bit.
Correct.
Prior to practice, or just to go in there to relax.
Right.
So it really is a great addition to our facility.
Now, football is while it's a team sport, it's a little different animal only because of numbers. What are we trying to accomplish in a football locker room?
Well, bringing the team together.
Okay.
I guess, Tom. Right
Tough
now,
to do with 100 guys.
Yeah, it is. But right now, the current room does not fit everybody. So we really have a kind of a freshman room and a, quote, varsity room. So they're separated.
Right.
And what the freshmen have right now is interesting.
Yes.
So they'll all be together as a team in one locker room, and that can only reap benefits from that, of everybody being together.
About 30 seconds left. What's the timetable, again, for getting out and getting back in?
Well, right now, Tom, we will be out of that building this summer.
Right.
We hope that the move will be completed by August 1st. And then 2 years later, August 2014, we hope to be moving back in to this renovation, newly renovated Houston gym.
And I'm sure we'll have some open houses for all the old alums and lettermans to come and see where they used to play and what's going on now. Jerry, exciting time. Thanks for coming on.
Tom, thanks.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks for more Bengal Magazine.